Well, a couple of months ago, we had the drone mob here in Austin. We got a lot of people locally, and even some people from out of town came to talk about drones and to actually kind of play in the park, but kind of bring awareness of people to what's going on with drones in this country and potential dangers with that. And when we were there, we met some people that were very interesting. One of them is in the studio right now. We've got Bert, and Bert, welcome. Thank you for coming in. Now, Bert, you're from Poland originally, and when we met, you were telling us a story about how you were always looked up to America, wanted to come here, but you're seeing some very disturbing trends happening in America that you've seen before. And we want to talk about that, but first, you've got a fascinating story about how you got here and a little bit about what life was like in Poland. And we were talking just before the interview began. You grew up in, you were born in the mid-50s, so you were kind of at the tail end of Stalin, but you saw some, tell us a little bit of what it was like growing up in Poland under the communists.
Growing up in Poland under a communist regime wasn't a pleasant experience, because you felt like you're trapped in some kind of cage you cannot leave, and you have to stay it. And you have to permission of government for everything you do, and permission everywhere you go, everywhere just papers and rubber stamps, papers and rubber stamps. And from the financial point of view and economical point of view, was very hard life, because the food shortages and all the product shortages and everything was worse and worse and worse, and it took like 40 years to fill it. So it was a difficult time, even for a kid like me growing up. I knew my family struggled a lot to feed us, and struggle a lot to get anything for us, clothes and other products, so it wasn't a pleasant experience.
We were talking about what had happened in the Eastern Bloc countries, and there had been some revolutions. I was surprised to see that there was some armed resistance in Poland immediately after the war to Stalin and the Soviet occupation. I mean, these are returning military veterans who had their own personal firearms. They were experienced in combat, and they put up a fight for a while there. And then also in '56 in Hungary, there was a successful revolution, which the people were able to change the government, but then the Soviets invaded in force and put back Soviet puppets. But later on, in '68 in Czechoslovakia and Prague, there was a peaceful revolution, and then in 1980 in Poland, Solidarity. And what was it that changed in those days? I mean, the '68 revolt in Czechoslovakia wasn't successful. The Soviets came in. What was it, in your opinion, that made the difference between a peaceful revolt in '68 and the peaceful revolt that began with Solidarity in the '80s?
The big difference between those dates and those movements was the poverty. In '68, there wasn't so much empty stores in Poland as they were in '80s. And poverty brought people to desperation. And they organized underground, because that's the only way they could organize the movements, and they get together in solidarity, and that's what that means, solidarity movement. The people solidarize with themselves and for common goal, and just move ahead with.
Now, when we were talking, you said the poverty kind of came about slowly. It's kind of a creeping poverty.
Yes, because the corporations, like huge corporations, didn't exist, which control food supplies and control any production. Was a small activity. Small farmers produce food, and they bring food to markets, and that's how people basically existed. And
so as you're growing up, you're seeing the small businesses, the small farmers gradually being strangled out of existence by this government bureaucracy.
Yes, slowly but surely they destroy the small farmers, small businesses, just like there is in their Communist Manifesto. And abolish, number one, abolish private property. So that means abolish everything what's private. And government control everything, every production, and this is not different if there is a government-owned factory or company which is huge, or a private-owned monopolistic company which is huge as well and cooperate with government. This is not different.
Right, a monopoly is a monopoly.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
And there is government monopoly, and in other cases a monopoly of somebody who work with government. So this is end up the same.
Yeah, it's hard to tell where one stops and the other begins.
Yes.
Now, what did you see about it? What made you want to come to America from Poland? How did you know about America?
The legend of America was always alive in Poland, and I think still is. And it was always dream of mine to come to America. All those movies, westerns, and we, as a
As a matter of fact, there's a picture on Wikipedia of Solidarity, and they've got a picture of Gary Cooper from High Noon, and they wrote Solidarity in Polish over that. So,
so when shortages of every product you need for life was so huge in Poland, that was in 80s, I decided, so enough is enough. I'm not going to waste my life to stay in a line for food, for furniture, for washer, for dryer. I wasn't interested in it. I just had enough, and I decided, so first time I have a chance, I just shut the door behind me, and that's it.
You were telling me that everybody, of course, had to wait in line for food. They didn't know what was going to be coming. They would just get in line, and whatever would show up. And the thing I found interesting about it, we were talking about how people formed cooperative networks of individuals so they could pool their time and their resources in that way. But, and that's something that we all look at this as individuals, but a lot of people said if there's an economic collapse or a major disaster here in the U.S., coming out of it on the other side with just you alone is not a very effective survival strategy. You really need to have a community of people who have different skills and who can work together to produce something, right?
And help each other. That's the most important, because there wasn't that much issue in Poland if someone buy some food. He always share with family members, and not only closest family members, but many family members. And that's how we survive in many cases. And in many cases, we bought some stuff which was prohibited from farmers directly, and this was like underground activity.
What kind of stuff did they prohibit from small farmers?
Anything, because they wanted to control everything. Every pig they raise, every cow, every.
And we're starting to see that now. I mean, we've seen controls put on things as innocuous as raw milk, but we've also seen in Michigan them coming after pig farmers and things like that to shut them down with a vengeance. Now, how did you get to the U.S.? That's an interesting story.
When I decided so enough is enough, I started to study how can I get somewhere to Western world, and I figured out so I would be the most happy to go to America, and because it was very far away and very difficult to swim there, so I decided to fly. So I bought the trip to Cuba, and Cuba was a communist country, so I sneaked them off a little bit, and pretending to going to Cuba, I just escaped in Montreal. I studied how the plane fly over there, and because wasn't enough fuel to fly directly to Havana, I knew it. The plane gonna have to land in Montreal for more fuel, and this against the Canadian law for people to stay on the plane when they fuel the plane. So everyone needs to leave for the special transit area. And in that area, officer of immigration always was there. So I just walked to that officer, and I didn't have to say much. I just
Well, you said you didn't even speak English when you came.
No, I didn't, and I just hang him a passport, and he knew what I want. An interesting story was on the plane, because on every plane like that was the agent of
the government?
Government agent.
Secret police?
Secret police, like maybe not like KGB, but kind of.
Like Homeland Security,
yeah.
maybe?
And he wear leather jacket, black leather jacket, long one. And that's how we recognize them in many cases. And it was so funny because I just, with my views and my expressions and my opinions, which I couldn't keep my mouth shut, so I tried to be a little bit like them, and I wear black long leather jacket too. So he thought I am the other one, because they did not know each other.
Well, now, where did you get all these radical ideas from? You said you watched movies, but did you get it just from that?
When you grow under pressure, you became diamond.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
And I grow under pressure in communist country in every area of life, and every time we cross the border to Czech Republic, it wasn't Czech Republic then, was Czechoslovakia. Every time we went there, there was a big oppression on the border. They look for everything, and of course, it wasn't that big as right now in the American airports.
Yeah,
but it was a very, very unpleasant experience. They treat you like a criminal. Even if you just have, let's say, like gold ring, you have to report it, and they wanted to know absolutely. And in many cases, they steal from you things, like in the name of the law. So you're not allowed to bring this through the border, and you have to give it to us now. And so many times they rob us. But we went there just to trade. Trade some things what the Czech didn't have it and Slovak didn't have. And then we bring something to Poland what was not available in Poland. And between that, we make some money, and we have a little bit better chance to survive.
So you just assume it's a cost of business having to go through the thieves at the border?
Yes, and I travel a lot. And after I came to America, I travel between America and Poland many times a year. But when this craziness started after 9/11, this experience in those airports are even worse than I lived through back in 17 and 80s in Poland. So I'm not traveling right now at all. Like 7 years, I was only once in Poland.
My sons, we went to see Red Dawn. And in that movie, the North Koreans invade the U.S., and they set up, of course, the stereotype of tyranny is to set up checkpoints that civilians have to go through. And when my sons saw the movie, they said, well, it wasn't quite as bad as the TSA. Maybe we should go with the North Koreans, you know, because they're not going in people's pants or what, you know, I mean, it's what we're seeing now. And tell us about that. Tell us how you've seen things change in America from the mid-'80s that you've, when you came here, so 30 years or so?
I would like to, I have no bad intentions towards America. America was my dream and still is. And I just wanted to explain myself, my point of view on the issue. America, for Americans who are born in America, is like a mother. And for me, it's not, and they love the America like you love your mother. And for me, it's not like a mother. It's like a wife. I choose it, and I love like a wife. So anything I say is for benefit. I have in mind, so somebody listen to what I say and benefit from it and wake up, because we are heading the same direction, even worse, because this equipment right now and technology and technique involved in all this spying and searching and those cameras wasn't available in 1970s and 80s, so only like manual searching. And right now,
and we were talking
wow, this is high tech. This is very, very high tech operation.
We were talking earlier, and you said, I asked you how it compared. Did you feel like you were living in a police state like East Germany, which is very, the Stasi, which is very archetypal about that? And you said it wasn't as bad because there weren't as many people who were willing to sell out to the state. But with technology, you don't need a lot of people to sell out to the state, and they can go in more detail and more thoroughly into your life than they were ever able to do in East Germany or the Soviet Union.
That's why we need to be involved. I always believe America is land of opportunity. But right now, I want American people to understand this is not a land of opportunity for job or business. Right now it's land of opportunity to save this country. So everyone who have a peace of mind and common sense should get involved and introduce legislation, because there is a absolutely waterfall of legislation, which is absolutely garbage, is bad. We need to cut this off. We people with the right hearts and the right minds, we need to introduce legislation in America. Maybe this is a good idea to introduce legislation if some congressman or senator who should represent our interest introduce a bill which is in contradiction with the Constitution, he should be automatically leave the office. He should not be allowed to be a congressman anymore. Only shadow of the doubt, so this is contradictory with the Constitution of United States, and I have on me always.
Great. Great.
Only this. If you just read this, just read it, just study, and you know what's in it, and this is the highest law of this country. And if we do not obey, if we do not protect it, if you not defend it, we're going to lose it. And if we lose this country, what are we going to have? Is this worth it to keep the house and be a slave? Is it worth it to have a nice car and being a slave? It's not worth it. I'm telling you. The most thing is how do you recognize if you in the country, and it could be any country on the face of the earth, and if you're afraid of police, it's tyranny. If police is afraid of you, that's freedom.
Yes.
And this works every time in every country. And you start please think, are you afraid of police in America, or are they afraid of you? If they disarm you, do they leave those arms who ban on you? Do they leave for themselves to have it?
They do. And that just came out.
This is not disarming. Because, sorry to switch the subject, but there is a leaf, marijuana leaf. I never use it. I don't know what it is, but I know it's banned. It's banned for everybody. Yeah, for police too. Yes, but when they ban guns, do they ban for us only, or for police too? No. For military? No. So this is like disarmament of one group of people only. If we disarm one group of people only, the other group gonna be masters of the group without arms.
Absolutely.
And how this gonna end up? It's gonna end up mass killing. Always happened.
Yes.
Mao, Stalin, Hitler, always happened. Always. There's no other way to go, because the group with the arms are ruling those who doesn't have the arms.
That's right. And it's not even just the government. I mean, it's in New York, when they just passed this most extensive ban, they were upset because they didn't make an exemption for retired New York policemen. Okay, they're a separate class now, okay? And they're saying, well, we're going to be at the mercy of the criminals. And it's like, yes, that's the average citizen is saying that, okay? All the citizens are going to be at the mercy of the criminals, not just retired police, if they take the guns. So, yeah, they are increasingly seeing themselves as a separate class. As you said, they're restricting things, just like you saw in Poland. They're restricting making it impossible for small businesses to survive through economic sanctions and bureaucratic red tape. And then they're destroying our liberties, not just the Second Amendment, but they're destroying our civil liberties as well, things that you saw there. I mean, in Poland, did you have the right to trial by jury, things like that?
Yes, but you have this right, but you didn't have any chance to win. This is different size of the coin.
That's right, and we're starting to see that here now as well.
Because they are in the same club. You understand? Jury the same club with government. So, so what? And
the way that works itself out here is that people no longer realize that juries were given the task, not that they have the freedom, but they had the duty, as well as the freedom, to judge the law as well as the facts of the case. But they have allowed themselves, because they don't think independently, they don't read the Constitution, they don't read history, they think that they're just there to do whatever the judge instructs them to do. And so they become rubber stamps, even if they're not, you know, party apparatchiks like they were in Poland or something like that. Now, you said that you lived under martial law briefly in Poland as well. Is that correct?
Yes, I used to live under martial law from 1981 till 1984. And borders, General Jaruzelski shut down the borders, and we couldn't leave the country, and it was very, very difficult. That's why I didn't come to America sooner than 1984. I had the plan to do it in 1981, but for 3 years I couldn't, and then there was no way for small fish like me.
Well, Bert, I appreciate you coming on and sharing your experiences, and I hope that it'll help to wake people up. Things didn't change in Poland until people saw the results of communist rule. They didn't see where it was headed. They had to experience it, and I just hope we don't have to experience it here. I hope that through your experiences and warning us what's going to happen, that people can see where this is all leading and do something about it. Is there anything, before we close, is there anything you'd like to tell people?
I would like to ask American people, I would like to warn them. There is something what even didn't happen in communist regime. Poisoning. Poisoning is the worst thing happening in this country. Watch out. Everything what you put in your mouth may have a poison. And what's making me very sad, people just doesn't realize that. And if they realize that, their thinking is like, well, this cannot be that bad, and I still gonna drink it, and I still gonna eat it, and I have in mind fluoride in the water. That's one issue. But there is aspartame, there is Splenda, there is sucralose, there is many ingredients in everyday life. What this country became is like, boy, what can I put in my mouth so I don't poison myself and end up in hospital later? And everything what we are saying here, and you cannot just get this information from TV. The worst poisoning of your brain is a TV set.
That's right.
And if you please turn that off and start to think. There are some sources you can get the truth, like Infowars.com. You can go on the line and look on those videos like on TV, not different, but the news is different. It's true.
It's not filtered.
And I appreciate, I started to do it 6 years ago, and because I have this hunger for truth. If we do not know the truth, we're gonna go the wrong direction. And I just realized and have this similarity, what I just wanted to say. Would you keep in your home plant would spray poison all over your house? Wouldn't you? No, you wouldn't. You probably throw out your window because you don't want to get sick of that poisoning. And why do you keep your TV?
That's right.
This is worse than plant who poison you physically. This is poisoning you mentally. If they look how you react to it. You buy what they want, you vote how they want, and you think how they want. So they got you. They got you by this big screen and a bigger screen. Don't be trapped in it. Just turn off, throw out the window, and start looking for truth. There's many websites, but Infowars.com is the best one. Alex poured his heart out to the people in America. He's the #1 hero in America I found. So stand behind him, please. Stand behind him and do right thing, what your heart is telling you to do. Don't be wishy-washy. Like I met so many people. I have a situation in America right now. It's a difficult situation. No friends because I wanted to talk true.
Yes.
I don't want to talk baloney and manure, like they say bad words, but I'm not going to use it. It's like bull manure, okay?
Right.
I don't want to talk like this.
Right.
I just wanted the truth. And the truth only I found on Alex's website and his staff, those people who have hearts. I can feel it. And thanks God to one gentleman who introduced me 7 years actually ago to that website. And I was in that trap too. I didn't know what's going on. But after studying every day, instead of watching the news on TV, I watch news on Infowars. I know many things what's going on, and I can react to it.
Yes.
And if you don't believe some news, what you see, you just don't condemn, because condemnation without investigation is the highest level of ignorance. Don't be ignorant. This country needs help. We all need together to help this country to be safe from what's going on.
You're talking about the fluoride in the water. We need our water filtered, but we don't need our news filtered, do we?
That's right.
That's right. We need to get it straight and undiluted so we can make our own determination and educate ourselves. Too many people are caught up in the banalities and the trivialities and the entertainment world. And I guess at this stage, you know, we see 1984 creeping up on us, but right now it's really more like Brave New World, where people are getting seduced by pleasure and triviality and that sort of thing. Bert, thank you for coming. Thank you for waking up and helping to wake up people as to what's going on. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.